Welcome everyone to PA Speaks Sunday Night Spotlight. And I am so honored to have my dear brother and friend, Lamar Dupree. He's in California and I'm here in Florida, but we have come together to share. And he's such an amazing brother and friend. I can't even express, he knows, his wife knows, but you'll hear why he's on Sunday Night Spotlight. And just as a reminder, Sunday Night Spotlight is this platform that God has given me to share, to bring others with their gift, their knowledge, their talent, their insight, and just a space to share. It's not always church, it's not always Bible. Sometimes it's going to be all sort of different things. But whatever the gift is, this is a space that we want to highlight and celebrate one another and the gifts that God has given us. So my friend and brother again, Lamar Dupree, he is from Brooklyn, New York. Again, currently residing in California. He's married to my dear sister and friend, Desiree Dupree. He's a father of 5 beautiful children. He has 2 grandchildren. He is a deacon in ministry at his local church. He is 25 years in the Marine Corps as a captain. He's currently an operations manager for Amazon. And he is a blessing, helps open doors for people. And he just has a heart that just looks out for people. Whatever he can do for people, him and his wife will definitely do. He's also chaplain of his chapter of Omega Psi Phi. And he's a bruh. He's a cute dog. You see it, there you go. And you see it, the emblem behind him. And I have to say, him and the organization, I have bear witness to the good that they've done for the community and for those abroad. So welcome my brother and friend, Lamar Dupree, to Sunday Night Spotlight. I'm honored that you're willing to share this space and platform with me. So for this segment, Deacon Dupree, whatever we want to call him, he is going to share a little bit on the topic, strength to walk it out and to be content. And all of us are walking out something. We're living out something. But in the process, how do we be content? How do we maintain? The one thing I love about my brother is that he's cool as a cucumber. He's not, you can't really disturb him. Like, you might get mad at him, like, do you hear anything? Do you feel anything? Because he'll just look at you. And he's not disturbed. And I love the contentment that he has. And the peace, and I've been around him long enough where sometimes things happen or conversations happen, Lamar just chill. He's just in a cut, like, all right. And he'd be looking like, yo, why you tripping? Yo, calm down. Like, and then when you try to go to him with something like real, like emotional, he'd be like, nah, like, get that down, then we can talk. So there is a level of contentment that he has, which is he's the perfect person to share on the strength, the strength to walk it out and to be content. So we're coming out of Philippians 4, verse 11 through 20. And I'm going to read the text out of the New International Version. And once I'm done reading, Lamar, it's right on you. So Paul writes in Philippians 4, verses 11 through 20, I'm not saying this because I'm in need, for I have learned to be content, whatever the circumstances. I know what it is to be in need, and I know what it is to have plenty. I have learned the secret of being content in any and every situation, whether well fed or hungry, whether living in plenty or in want. I can do all things, key verse, through Christ who strengthens me. Yet it was good of you to share my troubles. Moreover, as you Philippians know, in the early days of your acquaintance with the gospel, when I set out to Macedonia, not one church shared with me in the matter of giving and receiving except you only. For even there, when I was in Thessalonica, I think I said it wrong, you sent me aid more than once when I was in need. Not that I desire your gifts. What I desire is that more to be credited to your account. I have received full payment and have more than enough. This is Paul still. I am amply supplied. And now that I have received from Epaphroditus the gifts you sent, They are a fragrant offering, an acceptable sacrifice pleasing to my God. And my God, another key verse, will meet all your needs according to his riches in glory in Christ Jesus. To God and Father be glory forever and ever. Amen.
So yeah, first of all, I wanted to show y'all. I don't know how many of y'all remember. I don't even know if y'all can see this, but if y'all used to drink out of the old mason jars or the old mayonnaise jars when they was done with it, when your family was done with it, hey, I'm still there. No matter what, I'm still there.
Ain't nothing wrong with it, sir.
That's first off. I just want to show y'all that. But no, I mean, I like to keep it light because there's no reason to be uptight on here. You know, no reason to be like I said, uptight. We just talking about some stuff, and you know, you did bring up two key verses, and you emphasized them. And first of all, I don't take this lightly. You asking me to be on your show, on your broadcast. I definitely don't take it lightly. I definitely love you and appreciate you and appreciate this opportunity because sometimes we don't get a platform to be able to speak what we want to speak, or speak what we know, or speak what we think we know, or share with people. So again, I'm appreciative. I'm humbled. And I hope that you know me, so you know that there might be some jokes in there. It might not. It depends on whatever happens. I'm practicing for my stand-up, but yeah. So but you brought up two key verses, and but something that stood out to me was that it says, I'm not saying I'm in need. I'm not saying this because I'm in need, for I have learned to be content with whatever the circumstances. First of all, being content. So we have to break down what being content is. Being content is you are satisfied with whatever you have or whatever you're doing or whatever is around you. But the key thing is that you can still want more. So you can be content with it. You can be content with your surroundings. You can be content with your knowledge. You can be content with your money. You can be content with, but you can still want more. And there's nothing wrong with that, right? The only way I can see is something wrong with it is if you're content with your mate and then you want more. That's where I can see is a problem. But yeah. But otherwise, you know what I mean? I think that part of it, being content, you have to really know that it's that you're satisfied, but again, that you can want more, because we can be content with the word. We can be content with our knowledge of the word. We can be content with, our interpretation of the word, but there's still a yearning and a desire to know more, to so that you can teach more, so that you can understand more, and that because obviously knowledge is power, right? So again, just wanting more. Just don't be content and be stuck in that level of contentment. So enough of that, right? Because we're talking about the strength to walk it out and be content. Well, the part that makes you content in any kind of walk is walking again is forward momentum, right? Whenever you walk, it's forward momentum. Even when you turn around and you walk backwards, you're walking in the direction that you were walking when you were facing forward. And sometimes in this Christian life, we need to turn our backs and walk backwards, because that's how we defeat the enemy. The enemy might try to come at you from all sides, especially from the front. And if you give him your back, and we all know in life, in regular life, if you give your back to someone, that's the most disrespectful thing that you can do to someone. Mm-hmm. Amen. So if you give the devil your back, if you give the devil your back, physically, give him your back, that's the most disrespectful thing that you can do to him.
Right.
And then he's probably just gonna leave you alone and go to the next whoever else, that's entertaining, right? Because if you don't entertain him by facing him or whatever, and sometimes you need to face him just to show your strength. But sometimes when you just don't want to mess with him, and you don't want to particularly be bothered, you give him your back. Give him your back. You know what I mean? The enemy. Don't do that to people, because to people it's kind of disrespectful. I mean, you want to communicate with people. You want to communicate like, yeah, you know what I mean? But yeah. So walking it out. Walking is the full momentum. So like walking it out, man. We're all walking this walk with the Lord, right? We're all walking like we're doing this Christian walk. We're doing this walk with God. And it was never God's intention for us to move forward but look back. As we saw in the Bible with and I'm losing my place, that with Abraham when he went to get his went to get his nephew from out of Sodom and Gomorrah. What happened when they looked back? What happened when his wife looked back? Right. What happened to her? You know what I'm saying? He never intended for us to look backwards. It's always a forward movement. So how do we do it? How do we walk things out and be content in it? Because there's some things that just really, for lack of better words, takes your breath away, right? It really disappoints you. It really breaks you down, physically, mentally, emotionally. So how do you recover from that? How do you move forward, right? And like you said, the key verse in that thing was, I can do all things through God who gives me strength, right? And that's one thing. God gives you strength. He gives you strength, not just physical strength, but he gives you emotional strength. He gives you mental strength. He gives you strength just to continue that forward momentum. I can give you an example. Recently, and my sister knows, I lost my firstborn daughter, at 29 years old. 29 years old. Just lost her 2 months ago, to cancer. And here's the thing: it wasn't cancer that killed her; it was complications due to cancer. Okay, right. So how do you quantify that? How do you? First of all, I'm thinking, I'm trying to understand, where did this cancer come from, right? I'm asking God, where does cancer come from? You know what I mean? And then for her not to die of cancer, but to pass from complications due to cancer, then that brings a whole nother level of disappointment, of not understanding, of anger. I'll be transparent with y'all, of anger, of sadness, of any emotion that you can think of that's not happy, that's not glad. It brought about all those emotions, right? And questions, honestly, questions for God, like, God, how did you let this happen, right? Yeah. How did you not cure her of this? How did you not, like why her? All these questions I had, you know what I mean? And I believe that God was speaking to me, but I wasn't listening. Okay. You know what I mean? Because I didn't want to hear it. I was asking questions at the cyclic rate. And instead of me asking a question or praying to him and asking questions through prayer, I was just asking him questions through anger. I was asking questions through not understanding, I was asking questions through me, right? Not through my spirit. I was asking through me, the flesh, not through my spirit. And I couldn't hear him. I couldn't hear him talk to me and tell me why or what. You know what I mean? But the one thing that I knew was that he was always there. Like, you understand what I'm saying? So no matter, I could have been mad, I could have been angry, I could have been upset, but I never said, like, there's no God, right? I never said that. I never said, I'm not talking to you no more. Like
Right.
you're nothing to, you know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
And that's because and that right there is the actual, when you think about it, that's the strength that he gives you,
Yes.
to always know that he's there no matter what, no matter what's going on, no matter what happens. The strength is that he's always there. He's always
Always.
there, and he's always there to give you something, no matter what it is, whether you hear it, whether you feel it, whether you see it, it's something to move forward. Because you know me, I had to move forward. Like that's it. That's my firstborn, 29 years old,
Right.
with a 9-year-old son. Now her
Right.
9-year-old son doesn't have a mother right now. I mean, doesn't have a mother, not right now, but doesn't have a mother. And I had to process all those things. And but you know what? I realized at a point, because I want to stop. I'm not gonna be, sit here and tell you things that, but I wanted to stop. I want not exactly stop living, but I just wanted to stop, and just, I didn't know what to do.
Right.
And it was one day that I was in my, because when I went because I'm in California. My daughter was in New York in the hospital. I had to fly to New York several times during this transition, this period. And it was one time I flew there. I went to see her, and I was staying at my aunt's house, and I actually stopped to listen.
Mm.
I stopped to listen, and God said, again, this is why this is so so pertinent right now, because he told me, you have to go on. You have to. You have to
Mm.
go on, because you have to go on, because I am working through you to get to other people,
Wow.
right? Like
Wow.
this situation for you is going to be able to help so many people. And I cannot tell you the amount of people that God has allowed me to interact with since this has happened, that has been
Mm.
going through similar things, where I
Right.
can talk to them and they can understand, because they want to give up. And after I talk to them, it's like, you know what? I get it. I gotta pull my bootstraps up. I gotta go on. I gotta do my thing. You know what I mean? And it's like,
Right.
it it was that night that he said, you got to go on. You have to go on. You have to move. You have to continue. You still got a whole your rest of your kids and your wife and your other family. You gotta, what I mean, you gotta go on. And the one thing that he also told me was, because my daughter was critically ill. She was critically ill, critically, and it came out of nowhere. You know what I mean? But um, he allowed me to get to New York,
Mm-hmm.
and for us to see each other, because we hadn't seen each other in, I don't even know how many years. I mean, to be honest,
Okay.
I wouldn't be able to tell you. But
Mm-hmm.
he allowed me to get there and see her and spend time with her and spend every day with her. Right, that
Mm-hmm.
I was there every day with her. From I know them people at the hospital was tired of me, because I was there from before visiting hours until way after, and I was complaining. I mean, they was like, man, get this dude out of here. But anyway, I was able to be there with her, and at her service, the pastor said something really, like, really intriguing. He said, and he didn't know me from nowhere. I hadn't met him. I didn't know him. But he was like, I I truly believe that your daughter knew that it was her time, right?
Mm.
But she couldn't go until she saw you.
Wow.
That yo, that
Wow.
that
Yes.
I'm
Yes.
telling you, I was like,
Mm-hmm.
because everybody else was, my whole family was in New York. I mean, everybody
Right.
else, her mother, her sister, my aunt, my cousin, like all of them, and they was all going to see her. And it was like she was not going to rest well
Mm.
until she saw you. And I'm not trying to make it about me. Trust me, I'm not.
Right. I
But
understand.
but the thing was, like I said, when God told me, this needed to happen with you, because I need you now to go
Mm-hmm.
and
Mm-hmm.
help other people through
Mm-hmm.
this, right?
Mm-hmm.
That what I'm saying, that honestly, I might be the only Bible they ever see, they ever
Exactly.
open. You know what I mean?
Right. Exactly.
So now that's the walk part. But
Mhm.
then and that's also helped me to, in some sense, be content, right? You know what I mean? I'm not saying that I don't still feel sad. I'm not saying
Right.
I don't still cry. I'm not saying I don't still break down. You know what I mean? All that stuff
Right.
happens. All that stuff is because our 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 flesh, our human flesh,
Right.
you know what I mean, misses the other person's human flesh, right? You know,
Right.
what I can say though is, the word says to be absent from the body is to be present with the Lord, and I'm happy, I'm content,
Mhm.
that my daughter is present with the Lord. I'm content with that, completely content, happy. I'm
Mhm.
satisfied. But the problem is that absent from the body.
Right. Exactly.
That's my problem. That's my
Right.
problem. The
Right.
absent from the body. And I'm working through it every day, each and every day. I'm working through it.
Mhm.
I'm working through it, asking God to help me in, and he's continuing to give me the strength to move on, and
Right.
even to start to understand,
Mhm.
kind of, or
Mhm.
to I don't want to say be he's helping me to get through these days with
Got
what
it.
what would ever happen. You know what I'm saying? Because again, I'm content with her being with the Lord, because before she took her last breath, we were in the hospital. I was in the hospital, and I used to be there by myself, because with this whole COVID thing, and that's
Mhm.
another thing. That's a whole nother story.
Right.
With this COVID
Right.
thing, you can only have two people in a place at one time for all. So it made it kind of hard. So I would be there by myself with her, sitting there all day, just kind of just chilling, holding her hand, whatever. And then one day, God unctioned me and at this time, because she went. So when I first got there, she was talking a little bit, like she was talking really faintly. And then I left. I came back, and she was on a ventilator, so
Mm.
she wasn't talking at all. So she was on a ventilator, right? So
Right.
but we were communicating through like squeeze her hand, or she would shake her head, and all that stuff. So so I asked her one day, I was like, hey, I was like, have you ever been saved? And I don't like she didn't answer me. She didn't
Mhm.
say anything. She just squeezed my hand up. And I was like, you know what? I said, do you want to be? And she squeezed my hand. And I was like, hmm. And I didn't know if that was she was squeezing my hand because the ventilator was hurting, or you know what I mean. But
Right.
I
Right.
took it as she wanted to be saved. So we did the
Right.
prayer of salvation. We did the prayer of salvation, um,
Beautiful.
and, yeah, before and from that point, right, from the prayer of salvation. After that, I felt totally like I said, God, whatever you have after this,
Right.
I'm good with. You know what I mean? I'm like
Mhm.
I'm good with it, because
Mhm.
I know now that no matter what happens, whether she comes out of this or whether she
Right.
doesn't, I know
Right.
where she's going. You know what I'm
Amen.
saying?
Mhm.
And I don't mean to make this all
No, you're
about
good.
that
No, you're
situation,
good.
because but this is just the thing that because I'll tell you this. I was just thinking this yesterday. That's why this is so crazy. I was like, I don't like when people oh no, I'm not gonna say I don't like, but I would say I don't want for people to preach a sermon or to talk to me about things like this, right? Like walking it out and being content, or like um like the Lord will provide, like anything that like has to do with like going through something and then just trusting in God that He's gonna provide for you,
Mhm.
or take care of you.
Mhm.
I don't want people to deliver me a sermon or something if they haven't been through nothing. If they
Understand? Understand?
if they're sitting in their loft or their hammock
Right.
with a with a
Right.
with a glass of lemonade and a fan and everything's like, I'm just sitting by the you know what I mean, and they're
Right.
doing this sermon, and nothing, and they've never been through nothing. Like,
Mhm.
you can't tell me how to get through something because you've never been through it.
Right.
So
Exactly.
I was just thinking this. I was just thinking this yesterday. Like, man, I don't want to get that from people who haven't been because
Right.
they haven't they can't give me the tangible tools
Right.
or
Mm-hmm.
the thing you can give me like the word, you can give me the what you think the word is and what you think it, what you feel,
Mm-hmm.
but to actually like say, hey, I've been through this, I've been through something, and this is how I
Mm-hmm.
got through it. That's what I need. You know what I mean?
Right.
So that's why I'm
Exactly.
like I use this situation because if you I can tell you this, if you've never lost a child, it
Mm.
hits it hits different.
Yeah, I can
It
imagine.
hits it hits it hits
Mm.
way different
I
than
can
losing
imagine.
anything. Of course, you lose family members. I mean, you may
Yeah.
even lose a mother, you may even lose that, and that's hard.
Right.
But that's in a sense that's expected, right?
Right.
You don't expect your mother or father to outlive you. You don't. You really.
Right.
To me, I don't. Right. But
Right.
when your child goes,
Right. Right.
there's
I can only
I tell you,
imagine.
the feeling is different. So
Mhm.
but so I say all that to say, you know, this whole like walk it out and have the strength to walk it out and be content. You know what I mean? You know where the strength comes from. The strength comes from the Lord. The strength comes from God every day, each and every day. He gives you strength, a different strength every day.
Mhm.
To
Mhm.
keep your momentum, to keep your forward momentum.
Right.
Um, and then through that, like
Mhm.
if you've been through something or you're going through something,
Mhm.
like he's allowing you to be content
Mhm.
as like, okay, I if you trust in him, right? Because you got to
Right.
trust in him, right? You have
Got
to
to.
trust him. You have to
Mhm.
have faith. I forgot to say that. You got to have faith first to be able
Right.
to trust in him, and then that will bring contentment. That will bring
Right.
a level of contentment. I'm not saying that you
Mhm.
won't be sad. I'm not saying that you won't have emotions, but your spirit will be content.
Right.
Your spirit will be content. Now your flesh may be different.
Yes.
Like I said, I'm 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 taking it one day at a time.
You understand?
You know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
And and I'm still here. I'm still in my right mind. You know what I
Amen.
mean? Like I'm still, you
Yes.
know what I mean?
Right.
So, you know, but then I think back to Job, right? The story of
Mm.
Job.
That's right.
And like look what he had to go through. He had to
Mhm.
go through all different types of
Mhm.
infirmities and
Mhm.
tragedies and things that
Mhm.
he really didn't have to go through. You know what I
Right.
mean? That he
Right.
really, but he was chosen to go through it,
It
right?
shows.
So that also brings me that level of contentment because it's like I was chosen to go through this with her,
Mm.
with my family. I was
Mm.
chosen to do this, right?
Mhm.
To see which way I would navigate, to see which way I would go. And I'm still going in the way of the Lord because
Right.
that's the only way to go, right?
It's the only
Because
way.
there's no
Right.
looking back. The only looking
Right.
back is with that other person or that other thing or whatever it is,
Right.
and that's not that's not the business. So um, you know, I said I really draw that uh, when I was reading this, and then when you read it, and then after you read the, you know, as God being who gives us strength. I
Mhm.
was like, man, that like it really it hit me when you said it. Like when I read it, I was like, okay. But when you said it, I was like, man, I guess hearing it from someone else,
Right.
it just feels different. I was like, man, that's so true. That's so true. It's just
Mhm.
like, you know, uh, you just have to you have to you have to know that in your weakness he is strong
Mhm.
at all times, right? In your weakness he is strong, and that he gives you the strength. He gives
Right.
you strength on every level. And especially in your spirit, where the most important part is in your spirit. He strengthens your spirit each and every day. So,
Mhm.
and that gives you, that gives you the ability to continue to move forward in Him and move forward and the things that He will have you to do, no matter what has happened to you, in the natural, in the world. You
Right.
still have, you know what I mean? And it gives you that level of like where you are, wherever you are, um, you're content with it, but you might still want more, right?
Right.
You still want more. Because I'm content. I'm content where I'm at, but I want more. I want to
Right.
know more. I want to be more. I want
Mm-hmm.
to, I want to do more.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like there's
Mm-hmm.
still things that, of that nature. Like, like when I made my, when I finally got my bachelor's degree, because I was done at high school diploma. I was good. I was like, you know what? I'm good. I'm not,
Right.
I was schooled out. You know what I mean? And
Mm-hmm.
then, I
Understood.
went ahead and got my bachelor's degree. And I was like, oh, you know what? I was like, man, I might as well just go ahead and try for this master's. And
Mm-hmm.
then I did it. You know what I mean? And it was like
Right.
I kept wanting.
Uh-oh. Looks like he froze. Technology. Oh my. I was hoping he'd come back. He was doing so well. It was sounding so good. But technology does what it does. Well, I thank my brother and friend, Deacon Lamar Dupree, for sharing his story, his testimony. It's real. I pray you've been encouraged by what he had to share. It is a testimony, real talk. The strength to walk it out and be content can only be shared by someone who's experienced struggle. So until next time, PA Speaks, Sunday Night Spotlight. Know you too have the strength to walk it out and be content. God bless.